Hey guys, what's going on? Tyraku here, back again with another Doom Tower video. Now today, I'm at the Ice Spider right now, Sorath, and I wanted to test something out. Can the Ice Spider be killed with a block revive and actually stay down without having an HP burn up on the spider? Now I'm pretty sure she can, like I'm almost 100% sure, but I want to go ahead and solidify this. And if so, Occult Brawler can basically solo the spider, so if you have him, go ahead and throw him in, put him in a lifesteal set, he should do perfectly fine. Now let's read this ability. It's very specific. If this champion is under 1 or more debuffs, this attack ignores 30% of the defense. If this champion is under 2 or more debuffs, enemies killed by this skill cannot be revived. Now, as you can see, this is taking a very long time. My Occult Brawler does not hit very hard. It takes a while to actually set this up, because if I go one more turn, he's going to die from the poisons, and I'm really hoping that he actually kills him with his ability. So let's see. Let's hope for the best. There we go. Does it stay dead? And he came back to life. So I don't know if Occult Brawler just doesn't work with the block revive. Both enemies, it should have triggered the block revive, I do believe. However, when I look at the leaderboards, let's see. So the global rankings up here. So a burn, an HP burn. I guess Thalia has an HP burn, so everybody does have an HP burn. Apparently, block revive does not work against the spider boss. She still revives past that. So I was curious as to how that worked. So you do need a burn champion. Now, that is completely fine, guys, because I was going to show you a strategy that is free to play friendly, low spender, I hope. But I think Sorath, at first, I thought he was going to be a very difficult boss. I tried to speedrun him, and it just didn't really work. My burn champion wasn't great, and there's a few things that I learned while trying to do that. I think if you want to speedrun him, you really need a few royal guards or somebody to do a lot of AoE damage, area damage, because those little spiderlings, they left this out of their promotional video. Those little spiders that they said are a huge support to Sorath, yeah, well, they're an absolute pain. So let me show you guys what team I'm using. I'll show you their stats right after this, but to be honest, Sorath doesn't hit that hard. So the biggest thing to worry about, guys, is like you want to make sure you're killing the little spiders on the side, because if you're not, they're gonna remove the HP burn from her. So you have to focus on those little spiders on the side. Let me show you what team I used. This team is not the fastest by no means, but it's very accessible for anybody, I believe. I put Valerie, Apothecary, Bulwark for HP burn requirement. Apothecary not necessarily needed. Valerie just for some shield and some extra survivability. I used one more rare earlier, I believe. I think I used War Maiden, though honestly this last spot really doesn't matter. I may go ahead and throw Gala in here just to get through it quicker. Actually, let's just use a Bellower. This team, there's only a few things you really need versus this spider, and that is somebody to kill these waves and some support to keep you alive. I mean, because honestly, as long as you're surviving, you should be fine. Like, you're gonna see how much damage she does, and unless I'm just missing something, I don't think she places very many debuffs. I mean, my champions are resisting left and right. I don't have crazy amounts of resistance on these champions. I've shown these champions gear in some of my other videos, which I'll go through and show you guys again what kind of gear these champions are wearing, but it's nothing crazy. Now, when it comes to this spider, I've tried placing decreased defense, and for some reason, she's just not taking it. I think these spiderlings on the side may take that from her. I'll give you well, I can't give an example right now because they have weaken, but earlier I was hitting with Bulwark with weaken on this big spider, and the little spiderlings was taking the weaken, and it wasn't an AoE ability. So I'm thinking that like debuffs that increase the damage you deal have a chance to go onto these little spiderlings instead of onto the big spider. It was happening with Stag Knight. He would apply both his decrease attack, but he wouldn't apply his decreased defense. It would just go to one of these little spiderlings on the side. So if you're gonna bring a champion expecting to apply decreased defense to the big spider, don't get your hopes up. I'm gonna show you what happens here, okay? So watch this turn, how it happens, all right? So you'll see these little spiders, their turn meter. So the HP burn's still up, no problem. But this spider is gonna take her turn in a second. This little spiderling right here, I think. Let's see. I think this is turn next, so watch it. See, it stands up and like prays or does something, and then the debuffs are gone. So if you're like I was, the very first run was very, very difficult. I didn't know what was going on. I was like, oh my gosh, I got the HP burn up, but it's not staying up. And there was no there's no ability up here that says it. Honestly, as far as my knowledge goes, there's no ability whatsoever that says, hey, these little spiderlings are what removes the debuffs from the big spider. I know in the video, it did say that these spiders are very good for support, but it didn't go into very much detail. Now, I do want to show you the debuff split thing that I was talking about. I think I should be able to do that. Like you seen a second ago, she didn't hit that hard. Like the champions I have, they're not necessarily super tanky. I mean, Bulwark has a decent amount of defense, but Apothecary, he's very low, very easy to kill. But I want to try to apply some debuffs with my Bulwark one more time and see if they go to one of these spiderlings instead. Which they actually have to take a turn because I need to get this weaken off because right now it's not going to override this one. You see no resist there though, so who knows where the debuff went. I'm hitting the big spider just because I want him to take a turn. Okay, perfect. So he took a turn. Once Bulwark gets to come around again, I'm going to try to hit it again with no HP burn. Watch this. All right. So this ability applies a lesser version of weaken, the 15% chance of placing a 15% weaken. Let's hope it actually places it this time. It didn't place it that time, but we'll just cycle back through, no problem, and I'll try to place it again. So it shouldn't take that many tries. If I had a champion with a higher place rate, I would show you. I do, but I think we should be able to get it here. Let's try it a few more times. Okay, see? The weaken, instead of going to this spider, went to this little bitty spiderling right there. And that's not how that's not how Bulwark's ability works. It's not to apply to a random enemy. It's applied to the enemy he hits. So it's very weird that it's doing that. I assume these spiders, I've seen a few passives pop up that's like fight together or something like, I don't know exactly what it's called. But I'm thinking that basically takes all like damage increasing debuffs, so weaken, decrease defense, weak or strong. And if you have it applied to a single target, and even if you have it applied AoE, because you can see this big spider has not had a single decreased defense at all. But as soon as those little spiderlings on the side go down, we should start being able to apply the decreased defense. Now, or weaken. See, there we go. We got a weaken applied now. Once those spiderlings on the side are dead, you get your weaken. She does not respawn them, so it's not like the spider's lair where Sorath, or where the spider from the spider's lair, the dungeon, the level 20 dungeon or whatever dungeon, she actually spawns spiders every turn or whatever. This spider only respawns spiderlings if you kill her without HP burn applied. So we have HP burn applied now. Bellower is an amazing champion for that. Get his speed up. I'll show you where his speed's at right now. It's not very high. I do have an apothecary with him though, so it's boosting his speed a little bit. But if you don't have an apothecary, you can easily achieve the speeds I have for him. It's nothing crazy whatsoever, I promise. But that's going to allow him to cycle through. Now, if you're going to do this on 100% auto, make sure your Bellower, or your, not Bellower, dang, Bulwark, keeps up or whoever your HP burn champion is, make sure he's actually keeping that HP burn up as the spider gets lower, because there's nothing that's going to be worse than not having HP burn applied, you killing the spider, and since there's no HP burn applied, the spider's going to resurrect, and then the spiderlings are going to come back on the side, and it's just going to be a mess. So make sure you have that HP burn applied. Like I said, the spider's not super difficult as far as what you need to do to kill her. We're going to let this play through. It's at the 5-minute mark right now. It's really just a slow DPS run. I could have brought Cold Hearts in here, but I really wanted to just focus on showing you guys that it doesn't take a whole lot. You just really need to kill these little spiderlings on the side. So bring some good AoE champions, bring some decent support champions as well, because you will need to stay alive, especially if you're doing a slow run like this. Now, if I would have brought like my Cold Hearts, they would have done damage based on enemy max HP, so they would have chunked this spider down no problem. My fastest run was like a minute something, a minute 20, a minute 30. I'm not for sure exactly what it was, but it was pretty quick. And obviously this one's taken quite a bit longer. I don't know why she is resisting right now. I guess because she does have an ability that increases her resistance. Let's see if we can find it. A passive, I feel like. Increases Sorath's defense and resistance if Sorath is not under an HP burn debuff. So that's why she's a pain to kill if you don't have the HP burn debuff applied. Bulwark, my Bulwark is not booked either, so it's gonna take even longer to kill her, or even longer to make sure that HP burn stays applied, because it's what, a 5-turn cooldown or something, 4 turns or so. So him being slow plus not being fully booked isn't the best situation, 4 turn. So I think you can book it down to 3 turn. We'll take a look. I'll show you guys all my gear and stuff after this match. But I might go ahead and fast forward this till like when the spider gets a little bit lower, HP burns applied. So I'll be back in just like a minute or so. My time. Actually, we just applied. Oh, never mind. We'll hang around for a second, guys. While we're doing this, feel free, go ahead and smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the content. Leave a comment down below as well. I read them all and I appreciate it very much. We're very close right now. And this is looking a little bit sketchy, not gonna lie. Because we have 2 turns left on our HP burn. Spider's getting pretty low. Our champions was doing a little bit decent damage there. The HP burn's gonna fall off. Basically, if he doesn't apply the HP burn his next turn, we're gonna be screwed. And he's gonna resurrect, and it's gonna be rip to my team. Let's hope that doesn't happen. Let's just use our A1s right now. I really, really, really hope. That's the bad thing. That's the kind of bad thing about Skullcrown, is she has nothing other than, oh my gosh, just nuking. That's the only option she has. Oh no, Skullcrown, why'd you do this to me? All right, guys. Well, this is a proof of concept video. This will take forever for me to go back through it again. You get the idea, though. The spider's gonna come back a lot to life. Don't use a champion who only option is to just nuke the spider every single turn. This wouldn't be an issue if I brought like a cold heart or something like that. Definitely if I switched out or brought a cold heart in. Obviously, you guys get the idea. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Overall, Sorath isn't a super difficult boss to fight, I don't believe, as long as you have a champion with HP burn. If you have a question about who has HP burn, let me know. I'll try to do a video later on down the road with like specific HP burn debuffs and maybe some more debuffs you want to bring alongside. Obviously, decreased speed, decreased turn meter are very good to bring as well. Now let's look at the stats of my champions. Bulwark, nothing crazy. He does have a stun set. Not doing much here though. We had no problem with the waves. We have Bulwark right here, or not Bulwark, Bulwark right here. A lot of HP, nothing else really. Speed's good. Make sure his speed and his accuracy are good. Obviously, you need accuracy to apply the HP burn, so make sure that's at a good spot. We have Apothecary sitting at a low-ish 230 speed, so nothing crazy there again. Valerie is in a shield set. I think it's very useful, especially since you're going to be using shield sets on other stages of the Doom Tower anyways. HP 32,000, nothing crazy high there. So we have these 2, 3, 4, and then my Skull Crown. Obviously, my Skull Crown is going to be a little bit more on the higher end gear side, but that's why she was making it difficult for me, because she's got a little bit more stats working for her. So bring a champion who's a little bit slower hitting than Skull Crown, maybe throw another support in there if you're just wanting to clear it, guys, but hopefully you can get through it no problem. I don't think Sorath should be a huge issue. Now when it comes to doing her fast, it is going to be problematic because she's going to be a fairly slow run. I mean, you can look at the records right now and compare the records here, which is 23 seconds, to the records here, which was 4 seconds, I think, by Stu or something like that, 9 seconds. Okay, so yeah, these records are massively different. So obviously it's going to be a longer fight, but I think you guys are more than able to get through it. If you have any questions or if you want to see any specific Doom Tower videos, let me know, guys. I'd be more than happy to send something out. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.